Today I'm working on a picnic time granny square to go along with the two that I've completed already. I don't have any complicated way of doing a magic ring. I just wrap the yarn around my fingers a couple times, and then as I crochet into the circle, I will tighten up the loop just to make it easier to manage. I had already recorded a video using this yarn, but it was not at a good angle. So this yarn is a little bit splitty just because it's already been used and then frogged. But as we go, it's coming together okay. I'm doing 4 double crochets into the ring, then 2 single chains, 4 double crochets, and I'm doing that 4 times so that I will come up with a square by the end of it. I am using a worsted weight yarn, which is a number 4. I've shown these yarns in previous videos. This is Bernat Premium. And I'm using a 4mm hook. This hook I purchased at Walmart, and it has the plastic ergonomic handle, but it doesn't stay on the hook very well, so it is not my favorite crochet hook. I find it slides down as I'm going, although in this video I didn't have any issues with it. The hook is staying in place, and here I am tightening up my loop, as I mentioned, and that way I can put my fingers in the loop to make it easier to put my hook into the loop and make my stitches. This picnic time square is one of the granny squares in the Modern Guide to Granny Squares, which I've shown in another video. So it is not my own pattern, so I'm not going to show the entirety of me making this square. Here I have made 2 single crochets, and I'm doing a slip stitch into the first 3 single crochet chain, which serves as a double crochet for your starting out. At this point, you can tighten the loop as tight as you want it to be. Although with this single square, I don't tighten it fully. It's more when I'm finished the entire square that I will tighten it completely. So in order to finish this initial square off, you cut the wool and make a slip stitch into the next stitch. You have to look at your stitches and figure out which loops to go through. I've often done it where I've put it too close. What you have to look for is that your top row looks like the stitches that you're supposed to be doing. So you're supposed to have 4 double crochets. I am crocheting at my regular speed, so if you need more information about what I'm doing, I can do a slowed down version of each of these techniques. Here I have a great needle from, I believe I bought this at Walmart as well. I can link it in the description. But because it has a plastic loop at the end of the needle, it is super easy to thread the needle. This makes weaving in ends really easy, and it feels like less of a chore because I can put my needle into the work and quickly thread the needle. And then if it comes off the needle, it's not a big deal because it's really easy. It's easy for someone like myself who needs reading glasses to do work, that I can see where the thread, or sorry, the yarn needs to go. I wasn't entirely sure which size of hook I used to make the purple square, so I'm just comparing the initial little square to the purple square. This doesn't necessarily give you accurate information. So now I am looking for the 2 chain space, and that's where I'm going to be starting the next color. So I'm using a lighter orange, or you could call this a dark yellow. I'm going to do a chain 3, which is your starting out. Each row is a chain 3 to substitute as your initial double crochet. And then you do another double crochet and 2 chains, and right back into that space I'm going to do 2 more double crochets. Got to pick off the dog hairs as you go. So this is a typical corner pattern, but right now I'm not finishing off that last double crochet, and that is so that I can add my next color in. Here I'm struggling to find the end of my next yarn, so I'm going to add on my lightest color that's in this square, which is yellow, and I'm going to finish up that double crochet with the yellow. And that's your typical way of changing over to your next color. Now I'm going to cover over the end of the new color, and I'm going to carry my darker yellow in behind the stitches. So when you go through your next stitch, make sure that your color that you're carrying and the end, that they are underneath your wool. Again, I can show this slower if you'd like in another video, just to give a better explanation. If you don't want to cover over the end of your new yarn, don't worry about doing that. Just make sure that you do carry over the color that you're going to continue working with. So that's the darker yellow. It's important to cover those carried over yarns so that your work is going to be clean on the back. So now I'm in the corner again with the dark color. And I'm going to make sure to not complete that last double crochet so that I can change my colors. So here I have the double crochet. I'm going to drop that darker color of yarn and pull up the lighter color and pull it through those last 2 loops. When you do a corner, sometimes you cover over the first stitch that you need to go into. So it's important to look at your work and make sure that you are going into the first stitch that you need to go into. So here I am carrying that darker color by keeping it on top of my stitch and pulling the working yarn through, and it's covering up the yarn that I'm carrying. Here I'm dropping the light colored yarn in front and pulling up my darker yarn in the back. So that's my 10 minutes of crochet. If you'd like me to do these techniques in a slowed down video, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye.